I want to talk to you now about your group members. And I know that you can say, okay, so we looked at before the group met and the group meeting, but how does this piece fit in? And what I want you to understand is that you are part of God's kingdom plan to develop people or souls. And you need to understand that God values more on this planet than anything else is the people that He placed on this planet. He doesn't value the buildings over us. He doesn't value the programs that we have. He doesn't value the cars or our homes or anything like that. Jesus died for the people, every person on this planet. And so what I want you to understand is that your group time is part of God's plan for you to develop people. I know a lot of times we think it's about a Bible study and the Holy Spirit is just going to work on people individually, which He does. But the other thing I want you to understand is, do you have your eye on the success of every person in your group? I would encourage you to be able to look at every person in your group and start to figure out with each one of them, what would be success for them? Where are they at in God's plan? Are they dreaming enough? What do you want to see? Now at Saddleback Church, our paradigm is being able to see fellowship, discipleship, ministry, evangelism, and worship embedded not only in our groups, but into each group member. And so what we're always asking the question, like for me as a typical person who has fallen nature and everything, for me, I'm always trying to look at, where am I at in fellowship with God? My wife, Lisa, my kids, Erica and Ethan, and my group members. In the area of discipleship, what is my spiritual next step? Because everybody, regardless of your title, regardless of how long you've been a follower of Christ, you have a spiritual next step. And what are you working on? In the area of ministry, what am I a 10 in? What do I bring through my giftedness that I can serve the kingdom? In the area of evangelism, who am I bringing to heaven with me? Either through personal, local, or global evangelism. In the area of worship, what do I need to surrender or sacrifice? Because when you look at worship, it is more than just singing. It is really boiled down in Romans 12:1 and 2, and that is, what are you going to surrender and what are you going to sacrifice? And the beautiful thing is about your group time opens up the environment for God's Holy Spirit to start to work on individuals and in their lives. And it's going to touch one of those 5 biblical areas that we've been talking about. And when that happens, you want to be there as the group member to be able to orchestrate and help them to process that. Help your group members, maybe at a prayer time, to be able to say, hey, where's God working in your life individually? Because every one of us, every week, have something where God has, kind of touched our heart through the weekend message, or through what's happened in group time, or through a combination of what's happened through the week. And so what I would say to you is, your group individuals are a precious commodity that God has given to you. And don't take them for granted, but take them as part of God's plan for you to be able to say, how do I get to shape them? And isn't it cool that God thinks so much of you, that He's put in your care these souls so that you can help them flourish and find out what's their kingdom dream? Or maybe what is it that where they need to work on individually? But with all that aside, just understand this happens over time. That you're going to be in a process. You're going to be with these people a number of weeks, months, or maybe even years. God may be orchestrating a relationship that's going to last throughout lifetime. But you have the ability to bring people together, not just to hear a study, although a study is very important, and not just to close in prayer, because prayer is very important, but also for you to see, how can I start to touch each individual? And more importantly, how do I get everybody else involved in ministering to everybody else? You see, I've been a pastor for 30 years. and I still need to grow in all 5 of these areas. What you want to do is look at your church and say, what are we trying to focus on? What's our end in mind? And then how can I be a strategic part of working with each one of my group members? For some of you, if you're, retentive like I am, I hate the word that my wife likes to throw in front of that, I make little 3x5 cards with each person, with each person's name on it and where they want to grow and how we can help them grow. For other people, you may want to pair them up and to say, hey, could you buddy up with somebody in the group because we're about your development, just not hanging out here as a group. For some of you, you may do it through the genders and just say, hey, all the ladies, you work together, all the men work together. Whatever it is, I just want to encourage you. When you're looking at your group meeting, don't miss the forest for the trees, or don't miss the trees for the forest, or however you say that. But understand that inside a group meeting, don't get caught up in just thinking, oh, it's about the study, the group time. No, it's about the individual members and how God has strategically placed them in your care.